One of the most popular videos on my channel is a video called Why I Left Christianity. Now, it's one of my most poorly made videos, so naturally, it's sitting at over 21,000 views. At the time, I had no idea what I was doing with my channel. I had no idea what I was doing in terms of making videos. I didn't even know how to edit, so anytime I made a video, I would have to just go through and then just start over if I made too many mistakes. I was just pretty clueless, and that kind of shows through, not to mention the quality issues. But one of the reasons I've chosen not to private it or to take it down is because the comment section stays pretty active. I uploaded this video about 4 years ago, and I will still get anywhere from 10 to 40 views a week on this video. And most of the people who comment on the video are really grateful for it and relate to it, and I just haven't wanted to take down that video because I feel like it's kind of brought a lot of positive energy. But of course, there are also the naysayers and the people who want to pick at you. Anyways, one of the things I talk about in the video is how I got to a point where I really saw how sexist the Bible was and how Christianity was and how churches were, and realized that that was something I couldn't stomach. In other words, to be a Bible-following Christian, at least the way that I was taught, would mean to have to accept a bunch of sexism and hatefulness. I was taught so much self-hatred by women in church. It's very upsetting to me. But anyways, that's just something I mentioned in the video because it's part of the story as far as how I started to question things and realize that something didn't seem right. And every now and then someone will come into the comment section and try to mansplain to me that it's not really sexist and why I should be okay with it, on top of mansplaining my own experiences and my own thoughts and my own feelings to me. And a lot of times I just let it go. Every now and then when I do engage, I take it with a grain of salt because sometimes people are just trying to be a jackass and just trying to stir things up. Sometimes people are entering a conversation in bad faith. Sometimes people are just being sexist jerks. You don't really know where these conversations are gonna go. But every now and then I will respond and I will engage, and it can get pretty interesting. And I always find it most entertaining when a guy says something that is just blatantly sexist and then is just shocked that I don't just thank him for clearing that up for me and agree with him. So this is the comment that I received a few weeks ago. The verse is 1 Timothy 2, 11 through 12. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. The reason why is that women are more susceptible and more easily deceived by Satan. It goes back to the Garden of Eden. The woman was deceived by the serpent, not the man. God does not want women to teach or to be in a position of authority so as not to spread false doctrine. Also, God declared a judgment on the woman in the garden. Genesis 3:16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. So it's not because women are subhuman or worth less. A woman is just as equally valuable as a man in the eyes of God. God assigned men and women different roles, and God also handed out different judgments after the fall. So it's not because you're subhuman or worthless. Your value is equal to a man, but you have a different role to fill. That's it. Right. So on top of mansplaining the irrelevancy of my own concerns to me, it's pretty clear he did not listen to me in the video in the first place, which is not surprising from guys like this. You don't want to have to listen to women. That's like your worst nightmare. Which is why you love verses like this. It would honestly not surprise me if he had these verses memorized word for word and didn't even have to look them up. But anyways, I make it pretty clear in the video that I grew up in a Christian household. I have heard these arguments before. I am familiar with this mentality. I've rejected it for a reason. I do not have to accept this bullshit, separate but equal, sexist mentality. I don't want anything to do with this kind of BS mentality. But on top of that, his defense of his position is so bad it's hilarious. The Garden of Eden, Eve, really? We gotta go that far back for you to make an argument that makes sense? So in my video, I mentioned that verse from 1 Timothy. I don't think I quoted it, but I mentioned it, and how it bothered me and how I felt like it basically put women in a subhuman light. That it basically presented this mentality that women are less than and should be biblically considered less than. And his pushback to that is to say, well, God wanted it that way because women are just oh, they're too stupid to lead. Thank God that this intelligent man, full of leadership, came to explain to me that women being secondary is not sexist, but really just for women's own good. My response, I think, was a little bit lackluster, but this is what I put. You and your God can hate women elsewhere. I will not subject myself to that mistreatment. I will not tolerate being treated and viewed as less than. If you want to have such a shitty view of women, then I think that is absolutely pathetic. I'm a human being and expect to be treated as such. People who expect women to tolerate being treated like garbage and justify it with Bible verses are absolute trash. Now, all that being said, I do think my response could have been a little bit better. I just wrote what I felt, and I stand by every single word. Because look, if this is what you really believe, then it's what you really believe. But own the bullshit that you're spewing. You are spewing that women are secondary. You are spewing that women matter less. There are no amount of flowery words that make your sexism and your hatefulness okay. And you especially do not have any business telling me that I, as a woman, should not be bothered by this stuff. I have seen the damage and the harm and the hurt that this causes firsthand. I am not interested in hearing how it's really okay. No, it's really not okay. But that being said, I think the main goal when responding to these kind of comments on a public platform like this, I think my goal should not be making myself feel better. I think it should be making actual points and giving examples that are relevant to the conversation, because this is an opportunity to change somebody's mind about how their spouse has treated them, or how they have treated their spouse, or possibly how they look at someone that they're dating. Maybe something I say in my comment section is gonna help somebody see a red flag and realize they're dating someone they shouldn't be with. Maybe someone out there, if I gave better responses in my comment section, could become more open-minded to the way that this mentality hurts women. But in this case, I was really just trying to get a few things off my chest. His reply did give me a little bit of a giggle though. Did you actually even read my whole comment to the end? Where in my comment do you see hatred for women? Where in my comment did I say women should tolerate being treated like garbage? Maybe you should read my whole comment and then reconsider. So let's talk about that response piece by piece. First of all, I will be honest, I wrote my response before reading his entire comment. Because I've heard all of this crap before. I've heard these arguments. They are just as stupid today as they were yesterday, and they will be just as stupid tomorrow as they are today. Telling a woman that she is being treated well and that she is being treated with respect when she is being told that she cannot speak in certain circumstances because she's a woman is stupid. It's also really sexist and mean and offensive, etc. But it's also really, 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 really stupid. You're kind of a moron if you expect me to have so little self-respect that I should accept that. And frankly, it breaks my heart that so many women do accept this, because there are women who will hear a verse like this and just nod along to it and say, yeah, that is how God wants things. It's horrible. It's horrible. If I have to hate myself and demean myself as a woman to serve God, I want nothing to do with your God. But anyways, the point is, when I looked at just even the first couple words of his comment, I knew exactly where this was going. I knew what arguments he was going to bring up. But besides that, why do I owe it to you to read your comment in its entirety? Your whole shtick here is basically telling me that I should shut the fuck up because I'm not a man. Yet I owe it to you to consider everything you have to say. That's the arrogance and the entitlement that you're going to bring to this conversation. It's bad enough to come into my comment section and tell me that I should be okay with text that says that women should be silent, but you are offended if I don't listen to everything you have to say? One of the biggest offenses of this mentality is the man will hear a woman's concerns, so therefore she's not really being treated like a doormat because he'll take her concerns under consideration. Get into a back and forth with any man who believes that he is entitled to authority in a relationship with a woman. Baby, your concerns will not be considered. He will not care how you feel. He will not care what you think. He will not care about you. You will mean nothing to him as just another human being. And if you're in a relationship with him, his way will be his way. And that's that. Men like this love those kind of Bible verses because it makes them the king of their households. Who wants to be with people who are that bitter? Anyways, he then goes on to suggest that it's not hatred of women. Next, he opposes my treated like garbage remark. Yes, I consider this mentality to involve treating women like garbage. Telling me that I should be unable to speak in certain circumstances simply because I am a woman is treating me like garbage. Taking my personhood from me is treating me like garbage. Men would never be willing to accept the treatment that they demand we accept. And as far as his remark that I should reconsider my position, no! Nope! No. I know where I stand. I know exactly how I feel about this. I will not be silent, unfortunately for you, about how I feel about this. And I get to respond to this stuff however I please. If that offends a few misogynists along the way, so be it. The original comment is only a few weeks old if you'd like to go look it up. But I guess my point here for anyone who argues that saying women should be silent is somehow not sexism, first of all, that's a bullshit argument. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. It calls out a specific sex. So that would, by definition, baby, yes, ma'am, be sexism. Secondly, you can argue all you want to that this is not mistreatment of women. It is. It is. That mentality does not meet my standards for how I want to be treated. That is not treating someone with respect. I will never subject myself to that mentality. I respect myself. I love myself. I don't hate myself enough to accept those kind of mentalities as part of my life. I wholeheartedly reject them because I think that I deserve to be treated better than that. And frankly, if anyone watching does not share that sentiment, I would urge you to reconsider why you want to allow someone else to control you like that. It's not okay for someone to treat you as secondary and less than, especially in a relationship. And that is all I have for this video. If you enjoyed this video, have this video, or even just a quarter of this video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe.